All right, guys, so we're out here in Lee Canyon, Mount Charleston area near Las Vegas, Nevada. We're actually going to this morning be out at a yoga event. So I'm going to go up the trail a little bit away from it and then make my way back on down, but I wanted to share a few thoughts with you guys. So what's going on with men right now? If you're not aware, it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I thought as a man I might have a few things to talk about for it. So first of all, guys, if you find value in any of my videos on a growing channel here, I would love if you could like this video and, very importantly, subscribe. I just want to continue to share some sort of wisdom, wellness, or even if you just wanted to see cool local locales and some dude talking while he's doing it. Let's start with why are men struggling today? A lot of men are quietly struggling through their lives. I have been in a really great spot, probably the last 6 to 8 months of my life, and I feel good enough to share about it. But getting there was not particularly easy. I know a lot of people in my friend groups that are struggling. I know a lot of people that are just men overall in general, according to online sentiment, are struggling as well. Since it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, do a dedicated video towards it. So most men aren't out there screaming. Maybe they are in social media comments, but maybe they're not doing crash outs or breakdowns, but instead they are silently struggling. To many men, life simply doesn't seem meaningful or exciting anymore. Or maybe it never really was. Speaking to Gen Zers and eventually Gen Alpha, for many millennials, we did kind of have that brief time in our life where things felt a little bit more normalized, according to what Gen Xers might have been through as kids or even boomers. The usual markers of a good life for a man is that you have a stable, loving relationship, a family, friends, a peer group, especially male groups, a stable career, and feeling that level of fulfillment for providing all of those things for your family and for people around you. But also, just to be very clear, that you get that level of fulfillment in return. And in modern times, this type of thing is feeling further and further out of reach. I'm not here to espouse red pill talking points. I'm here to tell you exactly what somebody living in 2025, I'm 35 years old, as a man feels. And the reality here is, the morbid reality, is we're at a point where men are committing 4 times more suicide than women are, and that men overall make up 70% of the suicides throughout the world. There's videos online that you can see them ticking down with marbles, gumballs, whatever it is, the amount of men per minute, and it's really staggering. We're looking at like 700,000 or something like that, I think, per year. Don't quote me on that. That's what I just saw. And they don't really ask for help, not because they're stubborn, but because often when a man asks for help, he is often ignored, or even worse, is mocked. So what does that look like? Right now in society, if you espouse any problem as a man, you are told to man up. You are told to buckle down. You're told to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You are told to work harder, try harder, do harder. Everything is about hard, hard, hard. And if you're into meditation, especially quantum mechanics, you know that this is what's called resistance to your goal, is you constantly are applying resistance. And then when men start doing that and not finding fulfillment out of it, they are chastised into having to open up more. And when they're seen opening up, which unfortunately is pretty much characterized as a feminine characteristic, they're mocked for not being manly enough. They're seen as being weak by their male and female peers. I want to make it clear, this is not a blaming woman video. This is not a blaming video even at all. This is just the reality of where things are. And I wish that we had solutions, and I have some solutions or recommendations, but this is not about fostering this heated relationship that's happening between men and women, where they're becoming very, very oppositional to each other. And that is one of the things that is so sad about this month in general, and just seeing the current environment online, is that if you bring up men's struggles, totally understand and totally agree. For a large portion of history, we're gonna have to turn around because this shit's getting kind of crazy. Women did not have what would classically be called equality. And I think what we have going on right now is a certain amount of resentment and almost this revenge for people that didn't create any of those institutions or do anything wrong, and that they should be feeling this level of suffering because it's some sort of comeuppance. And I think that you should be moving through the world. I feel like Tomb Raider or something right now, going on a ledge. I think you should be going through the world with love in your heart and wanting the best for everybody. Especially if it's looking back on periods and times of history that you maybe didn't even experience. So when men experience not being able to open up and being told to not being able to open up, being mocked for it, and are told to man up all the time and start trying to solve their problems, the question always is why? You know, why should I? And what is in it for me? And biologically, what men end up doing is they end up escaping through porn, video games, and basically just chasing dopamine to replace what used to be, what used to give those impulses in the past. You know, think about a video game where you're in a chat room talking a bunch of shit together. That used to be warriors in the military. That used to be some guy making a sword, or a blacksmith talking shit with the people in the shop. So they keep themselves distracted from this and work nonstop. And that hole and that sinking, that numbness feeling grows until they can't take it anymore. And they're not able to work in the same level as usually women are with things like talk therapy. It doesn't work as well for them. Instead, men typically work much better when they're working on a project together to open up. You notice this a lot of times when you're working side by side with a man. If you want a man to work, open up emotionally, even if it's washing dishes, like standing next to each other and talking about that, it's much easier when we're doing a task. It's just a natural part of men. Because one of the things that we're told consistently during Mental Health Month is to check up on each other. Well, here's one thing I will have to first of all, agree with 100%, but you do with men have to carry things a little bit farther from just this checkup. Most men, if you say, "Are you good?" They'll say, "Yep, I'm fine, I'm good." You probably won't get much else beyond that, especially if you send them a text, maybe call. You do have to pry a little bit more, but I'll tell you what's going to work the most is if you have somebody in your life that you feel you might be suffering a little bit, might be depressed, actually invite them for something. Don't just call, text, email. That is not really a way for our brains to be triggered, as our happy little monkey brains would like to be in person, working with somebody. Invite them out to, even if it's just coffee, but actually get into a spot where they can open up about things and be a little bit inquisitive about what their life is, what their problems may be, rather than just simply saying, "Hey, what's up?" and leaving it up to the guy to express himself emotionally. So to make it very clear, instead of saying, "Hey, how are you doing?" say something as, "Let's go do something." See, the thing is with modern society is women have gained a lot of traction on things, and that's great, right? It's not about setting women back. But men are still expected to provide. Men are still expected to really have all those classic masculine characteristics and expectations, but with little amount of reward and effort brought back to them for it. And then certainly a lot less support from a family or even systems. I kind of look at it where a lot of men nowadays, when you look at the way that taxes are arranged, is they're essentially mules. Essentially, now you throw social media into everything, and that just makes everything 100 times worse. So back in the day, you would just interact with a whole lot less people, or interact with people in your community. Now you're seeing everybody worldwide. And especially if you're online, you're trying to show something off, right? So I have this on my own social media, and it takes literally, I can't recommend this enough, guys, clean your social media algorithm. Like, clean it. Say what you're not interested in. If you're going to be on social media, it should be something that helps your mental health and not hurt your mental health. Say you're not interested in things that are sexual. Say you're not interested in some dude flashing his Bugatti in front of you. But we're showing all these images of these guys that, first off, as a fitness connoisseur myself, there are so many people lying about what they're on. So many on, how they got ripped. It's like through this specific exercise. Like, nah, dude, you're blasting trend or something like that, and especially from young ages. So people are lying in some regards to that, or they're just showing the highlights of their life. I mean, there's people that literally will flex in front of a car after renting that car and going and having a day of pictures and videos of them being like some baller status guy that'll even fucking rent their suits or some shit. So this is something to watch out for, and just know what you're watching is not real. And in a world of AI here soon, something that it is kind of cool to think about, it's going to get a hell of a lot worse than it is going to get better soon. But I do wonder, I right now could probably with AI make a video of myself walking on the rooftop, the most expensive rooftop bar in Dubai or something like that, right? Where eventually there's going to be a social consciousness where everything you're going to see online may actually be what they call a deep fake or something, but just untrue, right? It could be produced with AI. So become very, very skeptical. This comes into kind of my next point on something that is kind of the basis of the video, which is the missing element. For myself, I've worked on myself emotionally, my regulation for my nervous system. I've worked on my fitness. I've worked on my money. I've worked on a variety of things in my life, and I'm very, very happy. But I know what the missing element is, and it's community. Community, social. So in a world where more and more things are going to be fake online, community is going to really get a new level of emphasis as we move forward. And it's often the missing ingredient for men. So I'll just personalize my experience a little bit more. I was at a CrossFit gym for, five years probably, and I stopped going to the CrossFit gym last year. I had stopped training CrossFit about a year and a half ago, and I really honestly miss it. But what it isn't me missing is the workouts, banging up my joints, running and doing some things that is just like things I just did not enjoy doing. I like to lift heavy, I like to bodybuild, but I like a certain amount, and especially how much it drained me essentially. But what I loved was the community aspect of it, and even just lifting by myself around other people is very important, because you're all, even if you're working independently, you are working towards some sort of shared goal and vision together, which is being better and more fit and more capable to serve your community, serve your family, and serve your life, for the betterment of everyone. But I don't have that anymore right now. And it is not until like the last month or so where I really realized, hey, this is definitely one missing component of my life that I need to fix. So I'm here wondering about like what networking groups am I going into? Do I start another kind of sport related thing that might not impact my joints the same way? I'm already lifting, I'm already continuing to maintain. I'm on a cut right now, but like it gets help with my strength training. But do I do jiu-jitsu or boxing or something physical, right? Something that I can be around other people in the community. It's very important for men to have those communities and male only spaces, because when women are introduced into male environments, I'm sorry, but like things start working differently. We will act differently around women than we're going to act around men. You can cry and whine about how that shouldn't be the case, but it's a biological aspect of things. It's been ingrained through millions of years of evolution from when we were monkeys. So like I don't like when people are like denying science and think that, oh, you can just think this way and your body will naturally respond to that. No, biology is going to beat you trying to learn something out of a book 90% of the time. Not impossible, but biology is going to beat it. And when men are in these male-only spaces, it really gives them an opportunity, to form leadership, camaraderie, understand hardship, how to work through together. Also, the specialization of things. When you have a leader that's in a group, think of like the military, you can depend on people and their specific skill sets. So they feel much more valuable in that specific role. A lot of times in society, you're expected to be everything for people when you're a man in a space. But I'm not here to tell you like perfect and what's the exact guide to getting more of a you can call it social networking or just more of a peer group or community. I can only recommend things because I'm on that journey as well. If you're religious, I would start with church. And I truly believe as I get older, even though I'm not a religious person, you need to be spiritual and you need to have something to cling on to with a group of people and a belief system, a moral set that is guiding you forward. Athletics, gyms, great spot. Working out of areas with like-minded people. If you're an artist or a musician, work out of places that you believe artists or musicians are going to hang out at. Bring your laptop to a coffee shop in a popular part of town. Spring up conversations. Tell a guy he has a nice watch. You like his shoes. That's just general things that people should be more open to social interactions because of what it's going to help you do both for your own emotional and mental well-being, but also the opportunities and doorways that it can open up in life. Because no Instagram messages are really going to, and comment chains on YouTube are going to give you the same level of fulfillment or the results as like in real person interaction. And it really isn't about like forcing interactions, because I know some people aren't very social. I'm not particularly social, but I really truly believe it's just like go into that community, be around, become a familiar face, and things will naturally progress from there. We've once again back to biology, right? We know how to do this. Our brains know how to do this. Even socially, other people know how to do this, how to introduce each other with somebody that's there very consistently and being warm and welcome. So don't worry about how many interactions, and this is going to sound like pickup and shit like that, but like don't worry about how many sets and how much you should be opening people. Just like drop all that shit and just be there, comment every once in a while, and you'll get better and better about opening up those interactions. In my little ramble here that was all over the place, main thing is I'm not gonna sit here and talk about your money and muscles and all that stuff. I think as a man, you should do those things. That is fulfilling as a base level physical thing that you should be doing to improve yourself. But the connections that you get with other men and people, just overall in community, is something that's very important and forgotten about in the modern age. So guys, if you've been struggling, first off, my comment section, my contact information, which I believe is attached to the channel, it's on my Instagram as well. Please reach out. I look to spread positivity in the world, and if you're struggling, I would be happy to discuss with you. Just make sure that, especially for those of you that are really struggling, that you give it another shot and you just keep going, because what's on the other side is nothingness, right? There's so many people that would love to see you fulfill the best version of yourself, to be happy, and would hate losing you out of the world. So if you are struggling right now, please let me know in the comment section. If you've gotten out of struggling and you feel like you have something to help another person out with, go ahead and comment that below. And be well, guys. Be unapologetic, be aggressive with how well you have to be. Make your boundaries. And I hope that this brought something valuable to your listening experience. What a crazy way to end it. But have a great day, guys. Enjoy yourselves, and see you next time.